Calling all retro gamers.
Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all
retro gamers!
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Calling All Retro Gamers, your bi-weekly-ish excuse to hang out with some friends like Ed Retro Kill -9, the Evercade Effect himself. What's going on?
Hey!
And of course, you guys all in the chat. So let's go in right now and pick out some chats, and then pick out something like that's kind of cool happening in the chat right now. We got the Ever Canadian. What's going on? He was first. We got Fan and Fiction. He says second. We got Lloyd R. Jim, who's saying good evening, everyone. We got Mr. Shua saying hello, but also we got GTC members in the house. That's right. Every single member of the audience right now is a GTC member. So let's pump that out. It's great.
Heck yeah. Oh yeah, and Fan of Fiction, he's also a channel member of Evercade Effect.
Right.
Too.
That's right. As am I.
He's a dual member.
Yeah. So it's awesome. How the heck are we doing? We're doing pretty good. We're kicking off the new year. We got some stories, so that'd be pretty cool. You know, a lot of chilling chat today. Ed's got some story time. He had
this.
Keys. Yep, exactly.
And we're gonna do a live demo, and we're gonna try it live too. So.
That's gonna be awesam. That's gonna be cool. I've got a choice.
I was gonna say that's how much I love you guys. I've been waiting. I'm like, is this gonna be a Rich's restoration, or am I gonna pop it in and it works? But
exactly.
We'll get to that.
So and then we've got a audience choice. So also during this particular broadcast, one of these is gonna get opened. So you guys get to choose which one. Do we want the beast, or do we want the Raya there? It's like whatever. Let me know down in the chat, guys, if you want to pick. We'll open that a little later after that story time. We got some news stuff to talk about. A couple of my buddies on the interwebs have been talking about some crazy things going on with Atari, so we're gonna take a look at that, and then might have some Polymega stuff.
Ooh.
So that's it, and it might be another audience choice as well. So I'm actually in while the show is going on, I'm talking with people in the Discord around the Polymega side of things, trying to see if I can get some answers to a question. And if I can get the answer to the question, we might actually do that as well, also live on the show. So lots of cool things. The audience thing is out of this bag. I'm gonna pull a game probably out of this bag, and we're gonna put it on our new 2 terabyte hard drive while we're on the show, just to see. Well, I'll pull all 4 games out and I'll be like, hey, which one am I doing? And then we'll do that. So since we've been on last, it was just a break, and I know a lot of people here have been watching, of course, on the Evercast and all that kind of stuff. But how was the non-Evercade related break items for you?
Good. When was our last show? Did we do one before the end of the year?
Yeah, right before the end of the year. It was like the 22nd? I don't know.
Well, rabbit. Well, this is a rabbit. I mean, kind of. Yeah. So it was definitely it was great. The break and being off, and I know I'm kind of like where I work, everybody, and I know it's like not just unique to where I work, and a lot of people are just like it's like it's difficult getting back into work. It was great enjoying the time off, and and then I still do like Roblox. So what's funny about that for somebody like myself who's very like anti like microtransaction, that's like listen, so I refuse to spend money in a game like to make it like easier per se, but since me and my daughter were playing that a lot, and I knew that I was going to play it more, like the default look they give you in the game is basic, and it's funny to have like a term like they call like bacon heads. Like, no offense, because usually because I think it's like your head looks like a bacon. So I wanted like at least like some kind of outfit, right? Sure. Just to, because I figure like your forever clothes, but no, seriously, something that would kind of represent me. Actually, I'll see if I have some photos that I can share, but. Like any other microtransaction, actually I do. Like any other microtransaction game, like it's weird. Like you have to spend like their money. I mean, I get that's how they do it, but it kind of reminds me, I guess, like the company store. So it's like you spend $5 real and you get like 400 Robux. So that was my goal. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm like, I play this enough. I want to look. I want to look because everything else is like is free. But I'm like, because that game you could like stupidly you could spend like so much money. I'm like, I want to get off at under $5. But anyways, because the store is overwhelming, luckily somebody made a game called like AI Outfit Creator. So like I typed in things like cyber ninja, like cyber ninja Tron, you know, and I kind of and you can like lock certain items, but you can like kind of like let the AI kind of generate the outfits.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to pick something that was me, and actually I can share this. But yeah, still playing Roblox, so it's a let me share this.
Pretty cool.
Ta-da!
That's funny.
I had to have a sword, right? And like the funny thing is, I had my daughter help me with this because without the hair, it looked weird, just kind of with like a helmet. But I think the hair I had was like purple. But like the cheapest thing was like the pant, because like the pants, like this is all textured, and then those like I think they call those like superhero gloves, and then I just wanted a sword, something that is intrusive, because you could get like big Final Fantasy swords like hanging this, which those look cool and all, but you don't want that when you run around, like, you know. So
gotcha. That's cool. That's cool. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. So it's, you know, it's great to be able. So it's great to be able to play games with family. Like I know, like definitely, like I like, you know, it makes me even understand more, like, you know, why you're trying to find games, you know, to play with, you know, with your kids. And when I was younger, like my kiddo was into retro and stuff. So like, yeah, you know, get them hooked on it. And it's cool though that like the portable Evercades came at the right time, because like, you know, even during Evercade, like, you know, he comes in and grabs it, so it's, you know, it's neat.
Very cool stuff. So for me, when I was not playing Evercade and Atari VCS related things during the break, because that happened, there were some other things, of course. Yeah, we had that brand new start of the year Polymega drop, so I've been all over that for the last week and a half. So that's been pretty cool. Played a little more on the Intellivision side of things, actually. Dipped into a little of that home stuff. Got some more of the games on the Amazon Fire Stick, because they're available there now, and I'm like this close to being ready to do like a fun for fiving and like that kind of stuff
nice.
on those games, because you know I've been, you know, I don't know if a lot of people know, but I've been testing that stuff for Intellivision on phones, and you know, like all that kind of stuff. So like I've played all the games that are out, plus maybe one or two that aren't, and that's kind of cool. But I don't want to like I don't want to show that kind of stuff, like the, you know, like testing code and like all that kind of thing. If I'm going to do like a fun for five, I want to make sure it's like the product, right? You know,
Of course.
The thing that somebody else can go and grab. So I've actually been waiting, and I caught a really awesome deal on this Fire Stick. It was like $30 for this.
Yeah, they're super cheap.
And it's the 4K Max. It's like the good one or whatever. The good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's awesome. So like, you know, I totally was like, all right, well, for $30, I'll pick that up, and then I'll actually just pick up the games as well, because you can't use the codes, which is kind of a bummer. But you can't use the codes on the games, like, you know, when you buy like the box product, whatever. You can't use those codes to redeem them for the Amazon stuff. So I just bought the games. So I'm doing that kind of like I do for the Atari VCS, right? So every release that they put out, I'll redeem them on the Google side. But then I'll buy them on the Amazon side, and that's what I'll wind up doing on this, just to show everybody.
Fire Stick is great. That's what we mainly use to like watch stuff. You can like, there's like an Apple TV app. There's like a Roku. You can watch everything. But the one thing that I really like about Fire Stick, maybe compared to some other things, let's say like you have like HBO or like Acorn TV, like one of their channels. Yeah. Like we have like multiple Fire Sticks in the house. You don't have to download and install any other software. It's just like, it's, you know, with one account, it's just there. So that's okay. So that's kind of nice. It makes it a little bit easier. Otherwise, like, yeah, every now and then we do trials, or we'll get rid of HBO and bring it back. And sometimes it can be annoying. It's like, whose account? And by the way, everything is moving with ads. Like now with Prime, if like The Prime shows are gonna have ads unless you pay more. So
it's kind of weird like that.
yeah.
But I don't know. I guess it's like it's inevitable. Things were going to happen or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, beyond all of those things, with like playing games and that kind of stuff, the only other thing that I've been doing is I've been biding time till February, the end of February, because then as far as like video games go, it will even fight. Yeah, it's same with Apple TV. That's right. We have one at the house. But it's gonna hurt Evercade. It's gonna hurt It's gonna hurt Atari. It's gonna hurt. It's just gonna happen, right? I am such a huge fan of Final Fantasy and specifically Final Fantasy VII, that it just it's going to happen. So, in preparation, I've been playing this fine mobile game, which is Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which is on iOS and Android and all that stuff. It's even on Steam now, which is kind of crazy.
Oh wow, okay.
So talk about free games. You can go right now and type Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and it's free to play and free to download. You don't have to pay anything to play it, and it's pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of another mobile game I played called Final Fantasy Record Keeper, where you play like little bits and pieces of the original stories of some of these games. So like you're replaying some of the actual game. And then you get into the boss battles and you do whatever. And there's like mobile stuff. Yeah, there's gotcha stuff. And like, you can pay money to get things faster or whatever. But I never do that. And the good thing about Square Enix is they realize that people don't want to do that. So if you're patient enough and you have enough time, you can actually play the game and get the stuff that you like. And you don't have to worry about it. So you don't have to give them, give them $1. You don't have to give them anything.
See, that's because a lot of those games, like I think it was the Dungeons and Dragons one I was into, but then you got to a paywall.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so for some people that want the things faster, they get really into the game and then they join communities and they're like, you'll end up finding like the whales, right? And all that kind of stuff. Yes, there is that community there, but you don't have to be a part of that community. And in fact, some of those people that just buy everything in co-op mode, because there is a co-op mode in this mobile game, you could wind up benefiting from their stuff just by like joining into random rooms. You'll get match made, just kind of like Halo. You'll get match made with random people, but like you got a 75% chance of getting somebody that's like 10 levels above you in a random co-op match, and they'll just like walk you through, because it doesn't matter. They want the points just like you do, and as long as you like know the system, because there's certain things you can equip to get like bonuses. So as long as you have the right equipment, they'll always take you because they're always going to get the bonus. So you just get like tons of cool stuff, and
that's
like
awesome.
I said, you don't have to pay a dime, which is great.
We will get back to like I do have like a game on Steam that's like free. That was free. But before we get to that, I do like Mr. Shua's question. This is actually a tough one because for me it's between two Final Fantasies. But I like. Do you want to answer it first, or do you want me to answer?
I mean, favorite Final Fantasy ever made is it's a tough one. It is, because there is the Final Fantasy that got me into Final Fantasies, which is 4. That's the first one I ever saw being played, and I was
is that Final Fantasy 2?
It's Final Fantasy 2 US. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, so that one has reverence for me because it's like the one that was like, yeah, I really need to play this. And then my brain was like, well, you know what you should do? You should play Final Fantasy 1, which I don't know if I would recommend someone do to start out because it's pretty brutal. But
you know what though?
The thing that get through that game, every single one of them is just it just keeps ramping and ramping and ramping and ramping.
You know what I like about that about Final Fantasy, which that's it's not Final Fantasy 7 for me, and it's not 1, but those are honorable mentions. But the thing that I liked about 1 that was unique is that you could build your party, so you could be like a black belt, a fighter, then you had to balance a white mage, black mage, and then red mage, which was like a little bit of both. So it was kind of cool to be able to make better parties. But yeah, the Super Nintendo. So the thing with Final Fantasy 2, like that blew me away when I saw that. Like it was just like the first 16-bit, and that one I'll say of all the Final Fantasies, I think that might have the most tough bosses. Like I was actually like those bosses in that one are like really, it's not as much like Final Fantasy 3 or some other ones where you can kind of coast a little bit, but that one is like tough.
Yeah. Yeah, that one is pretty tough.
If I had to guess, I would say for you it's Final Fantasy VII. I could be wrong, but
so it's if I had to it's like like you must pick. I mean, I would probably lean 7, but I am also one of those people that even though I absolutely detested the way you leveled in that game, I actually have very sentimental reasons for liking Final Fantasy VIII maybe a little more. And the only reason is because it's the only one in the entire series that my wife has ever played and enjoyed.
No, I get that.
So much so that our first dance at our wedding was Love Grows.
Oh, wow. And
no lie.
Final Fantasy VIII for the PS1, right?
For the PS1, yeah.
Yeah, that one I hadn't played as. No, see, that totally makes sense.
And you get Triple Triad.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, is the best game within a game ever created. Triple Triad is awesome.
Nice.
I love card games, so of course it's but dude, that game that I played more Triple Triad probably than I did play.
That's the one where you're at the academy, right?
Final
Fantasy. Yeah. I need to play
students. Your members are like Seed or whatever, and then you go around. You fight Ultimacia.
Yeah. This is a tough one, and thank you, Mr. Shua, for saying favorite and not best because that's subjective.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a tough one because Final Fantasy VII, it was mind blowing. I didn't own a PS1, but I love that game. For PS2, the Final Fantasy X and XI with Cloud those stories were incredible, right? So kind of going back in time. So here's what's tough because a very little note, I don't know how many people have played Final Fantasy 2 for the OG Game Boy, right? It's not my favorite one, but I'll tell you which is, but that one is so different. It's different because for one, your weapons actually break. You could have a sword and 50 of it. And then if it gets to 0, it was different. And you could be a human, which I think they were versatile. You could be a robot, which a robot was let's say if a weapon gave you 10 of, you would get 5 of it. But when you'd go to ends, it would heal up. You could be a monster, and then by eating meat that the enemy. So it was just so crazy. And I have really good memory. I don't know how many hours, but I remember having to get parents' permission to call Nintendo. So that's I was another great topic. We can talk about Secret of Mana, but that's so. The one that stands out for me, even more so than that, is the U.S. version of Final Fantasy III.
Okay.
And that because that was the whole one where you're Terra, the main character, which dresses in red with the blue green hair, and the whole story about espers and having power. The story's incredible. It's kind of sad, them hunting down espers, using them up, and it was kind of dark because they sacrificed themselves to help you, but then it was badass when you could summon them on screen. That story was just so good and so moving, and that was kind of that started a trend with me and my friends every year for Christmas. We'd always get that Secret of Mana was one year, or for birthdays that was another one. But not only was that game 50, I don't know, the first time you beat maybe 70 out. It was I don't know, a lot of time.
Massive.
But here's the one thing that was so awesome that I love that they did about that game that I haven't experienced in an RPG since. Well, two things. One, I want to say as far as in your party, there was 20 characters, something ridiculous like that. And they made it where you get halfway through the game, when the world splits in half, whatever, sorry, spoiler, but they made it so that pretty much you can choose your party. And and you can only, you choose them. So and there was so much replay value just to beat everybody and max them out. And so it was that. But the other thing is, it was one of the only games, or especially RPGs in my life, where as soon as I beat it, I wanted to play it again and try to that was just so. It's tough, right? All the Final Fantasies are good, and then I remember later on in college, playing Final Fantasy V on an emulator that we never got that was translated into English with job, but still, but that one because just the story and the replayability just. That was when I think Final Fantasy might have been something stupid $70 or $80, but it was worth it for that Final Fantasy. And what Final Fantasy 2 was good, a little bit short in that 25, 30 hours. This one was the first time playing it through, I want to say it was something stupid 70. And then I think the next times it was half that. But
it's crazy. It's crazy times.
And then to answer And so to answer your question, there's like the Final Fantasy. So for Game Boy, so there's the Final Fantasy 1, which is weird, and then there was Final Fantasy Legends, which I think was like the US version of the Legend of Mana. Like I think that was like the third Final Fantasy for Game Boy. So that kind of started off, and then there was Secret of Mana, and then I guess Secret of Evermore was kind of part of that series, but that one was kind of like more modern times, and you had a dog, and it kind of had like joke. That one was cool too. But
yeah, those are pretty cool. And I got to play over a friend's house because he had like Legend 2, and all that kind of stuff. So I get to play those a little bit because I never had a Game Boy too growing up.
Yeah.
Or any other handheld. I'd borrowed my friend's Game Gear. He's the same kid that I traded for the Master System for. But he let me borrow for like almost an entire summer his Game Gear and a whole bunch of games. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, it's pretty cool stuff. And I cannot wait for Rebirth because I'm going to just dive into that game. Now I know it's like new stuff, but I so badly just want to stream that experience.
Then do it.
May in fact do on like a side stuff. You know what? Maybe we'll do it here. Maybe I'll do streams here, and I'll play Rebirth through
the world.
Here.
So just a crowbar, and this is one of these free games that came out free. I haven't played it. Called what? Gravitia,
I think.
Yeah,
an adventure game all about manipulating gravity to escape a unique world full of mystery. All right.
Yeah, it looks cool. So
I'm gonna hit the button.
I just want to, we try to throw in something like
free game.
I like to throw in something that's just not like available on the Epic Store because I feel like that's common knowledge for people to find. So
yeah. Gravitia.
Yeah. So if you just do a search in the Steam store, I'll have to check it on deck, but just like add it. So
Gravitia. There we go. The soundtrack's free too.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
that's a library.
Do you think we have enough people in the chat for me to talk about this?
What's that?
How I found this game. Do you think we have enough people in the chat, or do you want to wait a little bit longer? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Super Mario Deluxe for the Game Boy Color, and it's not in too bad shape. Like I looked at the pins, like not gonna be able to tell, but like the back of it's a little bit scruffy, and it takes a save battery. So. Oh yeah. Let me show it like it's good. If we can get it to focus, which can't really, but
yeah, sometimes it's hard like that.
Yeah, that's what you said. Anyways, so how did I get? I didn't. So yeah, I definitely didn't buy it. So I usually like once a day. I usually would go for a walk around my neighborhood. From sitting all day and whatnot, try to get some exercise, and. People put stuff out in the trash like all the time. Oh, nice. Well, we're gonna see if it's a great game on this here in a minute.
Yeah.
And just people throw away various things, and like one person's house, like so this was like in a cul-de-sac. Like the other day, I walked by and they had like a karaoke machine, stuff in boxes. Whenever you see electronics, always look over. Is there a CRT? Anything special? And I didn't see anything there. Like I'm like, okay, unless like you're gonna actually root through all the stuff. I'm like, I don't want to do that. And so here I should mention too that it's been very windy, like really windy. And so when I saw it today. What kind of caught my eye? I saw just like an empty box for like maybe like the outer shell for a Wii, and then I saw one like for a DSi. And I saw they had like some DSi games, but it was so first I should mention like either like a wind had come through and just like blown everything all over, or if people actually opened up all that stuff and just like rooted through it, because this stuff was like not only like at the edge of the curb, but it was like pouring out like into the street, like kind of a bunch of trash and things mixed in,
right?
And it's one of those things, I went and I took a look at it. And so when I saw like the shovelware, it was maybe like something like Barbie or maybe some of those other like Disney games. And I'm like, so I opened it up and none of the games were in there. And then I saw and then I was like, look. So the funny thing is, during this, I should mention when I go for my walk, I'm listening to Critical Role. I'm listening to like a Dungeons and Dragons podcast.
Yeah.
So I think to myself, because in Dungeons and Dragons, whenever you search through stuff, it's like make an investigation check. So I was kind of like, it was kind of funny because I was like thinking like make an investigation check. It's like, yeah, you see a bunch of like things out there, detective DSI, kind of catches your eye. And then I saw the weird thing is they had just like the outer box just for a DSI. Maybe those other games were 3DS. But so then when I kind of went around to look, I saw there was just like various other like just discs. And as I'm looking through this, the one thing that's going through my mind, I'm like, I don't want the owners or somebody to like think that I just like dumped all this stuff, like that I caused this, right? So that's so it's kind of like I'm trying to scurry and look through things. And then I'm like, oh, these are just cases. And then I don't know if some things I couldn't tell if they're waterlogged or what, but I'm like, I don't really need a DSI case. They're not, those were kind of lying there. And then I just see other miscellaneous discs. But it was strange though, seeing the boxes, and then this. So lying on the ground, I this kind of catches my eye. I didn't really know what it was, or maybe I don't know if the battery or the thing reflected off. And I picked it up. I'm like, oh, it's a game. I'm like, it's a Game Boy game. And so I just kind of looked at it, put it in my pocket. But it was just like lying there, like on the street. The funny thing is, my wife was like, it wasn't when people were doing a Facebook pickup. I'm like, no. I'm like, this is people definitely throwing it away. And either I suspect one or two things either happened. Either the wind did blow everything over, and I think they got rid of the stuff they didn't want, hence all the shovelware and maybe some of the boxes, or maybe they actually did get rid of a Wii and some other stuff and people rooted through it. But either way, because I think maybe this might have been in a box. I think they didn't know either. I'm pretty sure they probably didn't know that they gave this away. Like, were there more Game Boy games? But tomorrow when I walk by, I'll still see. But like, I went ahead and I just, I grabbed it. I'm like, Super Mario Deluxe. At first I thought it was like the other Mario that I had. I did price charting. It's only a $20 game, but I've always just wanted to find something retro. Just like, so it was just kind of neat. And, it's something just like a cart. It's like unmistakable. Like you can say, like, I'm like, what's that? And picked it up. And it just so happened to be something I could actually like test.
Right.
So what we're going to do, and I've been refraining from, so the pin, I don't think I need to clean, because at first I was like, do I even want to I didn't see any like water damage. I mean, it's see-through.
Yeah.
The only thing I will do is, sometimes you just have to do that. So anyways, I'm like, even if it doesn't work, I don't know. It was, it was a free game. So let's see if y'all can kind of see. Let's turn it on. Make sure the volume is up, because if you can hear like the ting or whatever, that's always. Ooh.
Yeah.
Make it bigger.
Yeah, man.
Ooh.
That's working.
Dude. Okay. So now
great success.
Let me see if there's the battery works, or there's saves.
Yeah, if there's save data.
Yeah, let me go in there. Original game. Huh. I don't know if can you see that? It says like world 5.
Yeah.
Let me go into one of those. I don't know. I've never. It's like, is this okay? At first it said Mario Deluxe. I didn't know if this was just like a Mario remake. But no, it looks like Super Mario World actually.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Kind of a.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, it's working. Of course, yeah. It's like now I almost want like a Game Boy Color, or like that's like what an Analog Pocket would be for. So yeah, that was just really cool. I never find anything retro, and I'm like, and it looks like the saves work on it. So it's just like, man, you never know what people. But it's always a tricky thing, like looking through stuff, and that's what kind of like. The other discs, I mean, I don't know. Those might have been PS1 game. They could have been CDs, but people know like the value of stuff. Yeah. But that's what's kind of going through my head. I'm like, okay. I found that. Didn't see anything else. I'm like, I don't want people to think that I just, I just caused like a mess. You know what I mean? So it's weird because it was just part of my, I rolled good on my investigation roll, but it was difficult to tell if the wind blew it over, or if people just had rooted through it and kind of took what they wanted. I don't know. So it's,
very cool. That is awesome. That is awesome. And it's super great that it works.
Yes, I'm excited. That's why I was like, oh.
Yeah, I've got to. You know what? I've got to do it. I'm going to be better prepared for for maybe next card. But I've got to tell you guys a story about like free finds.
Ooh.
And I don't think it's ever gonna get beaten. I don't think it's ever gonna get beaten. But
yeah, you'll definitely have. The other thing I will say, because it is a battery game, if it didn't work, if it does go, I know Game Over Games, they said like for $10 they'll replace a battery. It's the point. So, that was the other kind of thing. I'm like, hey, I can just get them to replace it. Hey, Nathan. So yeah, fun stuff. But yeah, the only, I mean, it's like playing it this way isn't the ideal way to play it. But that's still always, so that's kind of always like my dilemma of things, because so like, okay, here's kind of going into the topic. Here's kind of what I've realized, just like playing emulation and whatnot, like on like on Steam Deck.
Sure.
So here's kind of the thing that's like, if you get something, let's say like an Analog Pocket or like an Atari 2600 Plus, and you want to jailbreak, and like you want to actually no, Atari 2600 Plus isn't a good example. Analog Pocket's a better example, because it's it's an FPGA, like something like that. I think if you do that and you jailbreak it to play like a bunch of, like, let's say like ROMs versus like using physical carts, then I'm like, well, because the screen is great, then it's kind of like, I don't want to say it defeats the purpose, but it's kind of interesting because you have other options, or you have like straight emulation devices. Like, do you know what I mean? do you really need it to be FPGA to put on that device? Or it could be because I do understand why somebody might have some, might have something like a Jaguar, right? And they have like a flash cart because those games are super expensive, but that's an original hardware. So like maybe for some people, having something that isn't original hardware kind of has that, but then sometimes also have conflicts that if you do have a Game Boy Plus with a multi-cart, then does that kind of defeat the purpose? Or you are playing on original hardware, but then kind of the purpose of those devices are to have physical carts. And I guess maybe the 2600 Plus you could put in that same thing, like that's designed to play physical carts. Like if they do find a way to jailbreak it, then it's kind of like, what was the point, I guess, unless you wanted the control, because there's so many ways you can play Atari. So it's kind of an interesting thing that kind of goes in my head, installing.
Nice. That's good. That's good times. That's good.
You'll have to let me know how those play out. I really hope those emulate well, because I know N64 emulation can be tricky.
Well, so that's something that was curious to me, and it was part of not only the discussion about whether or not I was going to lean in to try to get a module, because if I was going to get one, it was probably going to be the Ultra module, because Nintendo 64 is the only thing that I don't have a method of playing in modern. I have an N64, but I don't have any of the cables or any of that.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. So if I could get the module, I could start playing those, and that would be kind of cool too. So I was leaning that, but then Ed and I backstage were talking about the dilemma I'm currently in, because I've got a Polymega. It's got a really old firmware on it. I wanted to upgrade it, but I don't want to upgrade all the way to 1.1.30, because if I do that, a couple of things are going to happen. The rumored thing is I'm going to lose access currently, like temporarily, I guess, but I'm going to lose access to all of the pre-installed games, and I don't want to lose access to that because I want to fun revive them all, like Dragon Master.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
So that's a bummer. Then of course there's the Neo Geo CD slowdown thing. There's some other bugs about games not having audio, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I was like, oh man, that's no good. But it led to another discussion about things, and that led to a question, which I'm going to segue into, because we're talking about Polymega for a little bit, which is live on the show today before we end, because I'm going to see if we can time it. I think I'm going to throw another game on this thing, and I need your guys' help. So I've got 3 games in my hand right now, right? They are Final Fantasy Origins, which is Final Fantasy 1 and 2. Ehrgeiz, God Bless the Ring, which is a Squaresoft fighting game featuring that fun guy right there, Cloud. And then, of course, Final Fantasy Tactics, which is another one of my top 3 Final Fantasy games of all time. So, chat, which one is going on there? Mr. Shu was right away with Tactics.
That's
right
the one
away.
I was going to vote for. But...
Right away. All right. Well, that's 2. We got Ed on the panel, and we got Mr. Shua saying Tactics.
I haven't played the PS1
4
version,
other people. So,
but I love the GBA version. I played that. I played that on
Tactics.
Yeah,
it's PSX or that's it.
I need to try that one.
It's so good. I have a confession to make about this one, but for all the games across Crazy Money, emulations is great. If it's affordable, buy it. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I've been going like. It's like going back and forth of like, do you have to have? Because like I tell you, like I've been really enjoying like between Evercade and Steam Deck, like I've been really enjoying playing like 2600 and Atari 50. Like I've really been enjoying like playing like a lot of those. And then sometimes like with Game Boy, I kind of think like, do I need to play that like on a physical device? But even like I do understand that like the temptation with something like if you do have an analog pocket or you're going to jailbreak it. But yeah. It is just then that's just kind of like how bad do you need to have the carts, and then I'm like, does Evercade do it enough? So yeah, those are just like weird Ed problems.
All right, so you know what the weird thing is? I don't know if anyone else did this when they were like younger or whatever, but you know how in the at least in the US, when you bought a game, they had like the little thing that went around the top, like it sealed it on the top of the CD case. Like there was like a little sticker.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if anyone else did this, but I was silly. But like I kept mine.
Oh.
So.
Oh wow! No.
So it's like I've got all of the things.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then of course the disc or whatever. And obviously this is the greatest hits version. I actually had original versions of all of them because I bought them all on launch day, but I had one of those binders that had like all my games in it, and I was keeping it in my car when I was living down in Florida for the 8 months I was down there, and somebody decided to relieve the existence of my CD case, probably thinking they were music CDs, but they took it out of my car. And I was sad. I was sad face about that because in it was, like I said, it was my copy of Tactics, my copy of Final Fantasy 7, my copy of Final Fantasy 8, my copy of Metal Gear Solid, my copy of Metal Gear Solid VR missions, and then something else. There was another one that was a pretty big one for me. My copy of Tekken 3. So it was all that in like a little 10 or 15 slot one, but like some of those were double CD games. So.
You know, I was checking price charting, and that's like the regular black label or whatever. There's only like a $14.36 game. That's actually
what Tactics?
Yeah,
man.
That's actually good that it's not that expensive.
Really thinking about it, but so
actually the greatest hits is actually like $14.59. That's actually a tiny bit more expensive. That's funny. That's hilarious.
That is funny. Maybe because it's technically like like there was another print run of this game, and which was this one, but maybe a lot of people didn't pick it up or whatever.
It's like 20 or 30 cents more. Yeah, that's
because I have a whole bunch of greatest hits ones of these games now, because after they all went away, of course I went to like GameStops and like other places to try to get brand new copies, because I was like, well, I gotta get more copies.
Yeah, for me, like it doesn't matter as long as you're like if the greatest hits version is as long as you're paying like the price appropriate, like who cares? Because
exactly,
it's still the same damn game. It's just a different. But I know John Hancock on his channel, he's shown like his greatest hits collection. Like people will go for just getting like the greatest hits, and sometimes it can be more difficult just finding the greatest hits. Like for that reason, you exploit like the print run of it. Yeah,
exactly. So, all right, well, nobody else is voting. So
yeah,
I think we're gonna give it another minute. It's 39 minutes that we've been live. So at 40 minutes, voting closes. No more votes. Hey, what's up? What's up, Mike Tendo? Oh,
we can't. Good. Click at the same time.
That's another neat.
Hey, maybe Mike can break the tie. Show him the games.
Oh yeah. So Mike Tendo Power. We're currently in a vote. It's 2-0. Where I asked everybody which game am I going to now install live on the Polymega. Is it going to be Final Fantasy Origins with Final Fantasy 1 and 2, Air Guys, God Bless the Ring, which is the fighting game that features Cloud, or Final Fantasy Tactics, which is the current leader. It's 2-0 for Final Fantasy Tactics. So, like I said, one of them is going in I don't know, a couple. Well, I'll add another minute. We'll go to 41 minutes. But at 41, that's it. I'm putting it in. It's probably going to be Tactics. Tactics. There we go. Lloyd R. Jim says Origins. So it's 3-1. Are we gonna have the tide come in? Pete will wind up voting Origins just to do it. So that's kind of cool. And then while we're waiting for it to while we're waiting for it to install, and we'll crack a pack too.
Spectendo, since he's here, actually, because I was looking, I forget if we mentioned this, but he recently crossed the 400 subs on his channel.
Oh, that's awesome!
Congrats, man. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I looked and he put out his 22 minutes ago. He put out his latest video. So yeah, if y'all don't know, like he gets like the video games like monthly.
Yeah.
And all that.
And they're great. Those are great videos. I love how he goes through them all. Does the gameplay stuff. Yes.
He has a fun, weird, wacky way of showing it. So yeah, if y'all haven't, check out his channel.
I knew Pete was gonna do that.
Yeah. You know what I think? Because like I know we'll get more guests. I think we'll probably have to have like some people back. Like it's been like
of course,
like it's been like long enough.
Yeah.
To ask people what they're doing.
Mur wanted to come back.
Yes.
I've been hitting him every once in a while. I'll hit him up and just be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And like he'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's great, everything's cool." And then he's like, "Wait, when am I coming back?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's back on. That's cool." Everybody else here too, like Mike Tendo.
Yeah.
Pete, is it fine for me to share a link?
Yes. Yeah, dude. Yeah, do it.
All right. So voting is officially over in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final Fantasy Tactics is going in.
Woo-hoo.
Hey, what's up, Ian?
Hey, it is the hobbies that is Ian. Hey.
Right, so I'm hitting the button.
See, I like that startup sound. It's like it's soothing. Like, oh.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, even the menu sound is just like, oh
yeah,
we're gonna play some things. All right, so there it is. There's the disc. It's like I don't know if I've, other than the PSX that I took it out of, I don't think it's been in anything else. Like it's just great. Also, not that version because obviously I had the other one, but I have a save that I really wish I could transfer on this, but I have a save game that is well north of 900 hours.
Oh dang!
In Final Fantasy Tactics.
Huh. So, what is it?
I think we got to do it this way.
There we go. I had to drag you over.
Hey, what's going on, Atari fan?
Hey.
So it is currently reading. There it is. There it is. It's currently reading the disc. And we're going to go to manage, add to collection, and install. All right.
Ooh.
All right.
That is great.
I do want to proceed.
That is a great question.
For the Polymega to accept a light gun? Yes. In fact, there is a Polymega light gun that you can order. However, I don't know. It's one of those ones that's like vaporized. They're not really talking about the light gun right now, but it is something that is going to be able to purchase. And also, technically, was part of my Christmas birthday present. So I don't know because I think somebody else ordered it. So I don't know what's going on with their emails or anything. But even if not, if they forgot it or they didn't even order it or whatever, I'll wind up ordering one because that is definitely something I want.
I was going to say, so Rich's friends and family are watching this. You hear that? No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, figure out who pre-ordered me that light gun.
I want does it use Sinden technology or does it use like IR technology?
See, I don't know actually. That's
how much is it?
I want to say it was 100.
That's incredible. I was gonna say if it's under $200 and it's like good quality, that's actually a really good deal.
I want to say it was. Let's go to controllers. GC01 is the gun. It's 109.
That's not that bad.
Pre-order is available now. Gun controllers here. It's Sinden. It's a Sinden gun.
Dude, because you know what? Like I know there's a lot of Saturn like Virtua Cop. I bet you could get like the Japanese versions of those cheaper.
Yeah, because it works with Saturn, PS1, SNES because it does Super Scope, Mega Drive for the Menacer and Justifier, and the Zapper. So like it's absolutely
okay.
It's absolutely something I want.
Guns, especially like, Die Hard trilogy, but
100% something I want.
Yeah.
So might as well share this too, I guess. Just show you guys what it looks like.
But because like, dude, what's awesome about? I mean, okay. Ooh. I mean, and I assume it probably doesn't have recoil, which is fine.
Yeah, I don't know if it does. I don't know if it says.
Ooh, Nest Zapper. Yeah, because I was going to say you have to have the Nest module,
analog stick.
But Duck Hunt Super Mario is like that's like a $10 or less game, I think. So,
yeah, man. It's
that's what I was thinking. Like all the a bit like I think all the NES like game like Hogan's Alley. I think all those are pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Die Hard trilogy was great, man. And then it wants to play Light Guns games, especially Die Hard trilogy. Only option is real hardware. Yeah. I mean, well, and the other thing too is that's another game that we could do an install for.
I know why you want
that game.
I know why you want the Light Gun to get like Time Crisis.
Who, me?
Whoa! Dude, did you see that just shot up to 40%? That's a lot faster.
That was crazy.
Yes. I just
what was that?
The other one, like it was like
it must have been reading all this time.
Yeah.
Because that's just
the reason that made me laugh is
slow.
The reason that made me laugh is because like when Rich did his install video, he's like, I don't care that it's a slower drive. I mean, it's still pretty fast.
Well, so but the thing is the reason why I said that is because the bottleneck. What's going on? Did you see? Yeah. The bottleneck is actually the reader on the CD-ROM drive, because the CD-ROM drive doesn't have a read speed of over 5,000 megabits per second.
Yeah,
you know, so why bother getting a faster SSD? You know, for read write speeds. I guess people would argue load times and stuff like that, but I mean, come on, it's already at 5,000 megabits per second. It's gonna be fine.
Hey, did you see?
Yeah, Time Crisis, and it says Mishua says the arcade version of House of the Dead 2 is another beautiful game. Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite one of my wife's favorite games too.
That you wouldn't be able to play on this, but you know what I need to like. I need to dig up my Wii because I have like the adapter that you can put in the Wii remote too, and that the House of the Dead 2 for Wii was actually surprised like one of the few like adult games that are on there.
Yeah.
Like that plays. I might have to do that because I remember having a lot of fun with that. Nice chilling chat interaction. But look at that, it's already at like 60%.
Yeah, man. It's just that's why I was like, oh hey, let me hit some buttons, and then
Yeah, it'll be believe me, it'll be like overkill, plenty fast for copying.
Oh, absolutely. So it's already at 63%. So I'm gonna hit this button here, and then we'll go back to this, and then we'll let's rip a pack, and then we'll come back to this.
Heck yeah. I'm just curious. Do they plan on making like Game Boy modules for that?
Yeah. In fact, I think right now I want to say somebody was messing around with the Super Game Boy, and was able to get it to work. So you just get the Super module, and then they just put a Super Game Boy in there, and then just do whatever.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking kind of cool if there was like a Game Boy Advance module, and then you could also play like your Game Boy Color. Like you could play.
Yeah.
You could do you could do with that what they couldn't do with the Retron.
Yeah. Right.
With the Retron. Which the funny thing is, like, if that Retron cube, like, if you could have played played your GBA games at full speed, and if it worked really good, that would have been something I would have been interested in to play like my Game Boy.
The 5 does. The 5 plays Game Boy Advance and Game Boy.
I know, but like the new cube that was like 70. It was like pretty cheap.
Oh yeah.
If they had managed to get that right, I would have been interested in it.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's a bummer that like there's like 99% or 95% compatibility for Game Gear games, and the one that I wanted to play the most, it doesn't work. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Polymega question: are the manuals on the Polymega when you install a game on the updated firmware? I think so.
Ooh.
But I don't know because I'm not going to do it.
Not until they fix it, yeah.
Yeah, not until they come out with a hot fix for all the other stuff. I'll go to that then.
See,
but I can't lose the games. Like I don't want to lose the installed games.
No. But dude, that would be excellent because that's like the one thing that I feel is like even like missing from the Evercade. It would be nice to have like some like little digital manual.
Dude, did you just see what DJ C just put in the chat? He's uploading a video of Intellivision Dragon Warrior.
No way!
They put Dragon Warrior on the Intellivision? Dude, I gotta get that ROM.
That's awesome. So you know what? Like
he did. I think he did because he was saying he's installing N64 games right now.
You know what I thought about doing? Because I know with like a lot of homebrew, and I kind of hope maybe Intellivision is like this, that of course you have to pay for the physical cart, but a lot of the times you can download the ROM freely and legally, from the developer's website, so you don't have to feel bad about taking money. Because there's so many like it would be curious if like somebody out there has like all like the legal homebrew that you could download, because that's something that I would emulate. Because we'll probably never get it on Evercade or not for that. That is something, because there is so many like there's so many aftermarket like Intellivision get that I don't have any other way of like playing it like on, because playing that on OG like Intellivision hardware is difficult.
Intellivision homebrew of Dragon Quest. Okay. Well, where is it?
That's insane if it's like the original. There's like screenshots and stuff of that.
There's a video. There's a video of it. New project, blah blah blah. JLP hardware, yeah. But like, where is it?
It's like Princess Quest was like really cool.
Yeah. Dude, that looks sick. Well, I mean, there's Chuck's video is going to be there in a little bit, but
I think I might have found the website.
Let me put this. Let me put this up because I just found this.
Yeah.
Stop screen. Share screen. Dragon Quest.
Okay. I think you may have found what I found, where it's like, dude. See if you found the same. Yep. That's it.
Let me do this. Do.
I didn't know you could do that. Zoom in.
Yeah.
Hey, they got the audio right.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Do that. Yeah, I can. All right, cool. There we go. That's crazy. That is nuts.
Yeah.
My video should be up in about 35 minutes or so, but there are videos and screenshots. Yeah.
Oh, I want to see the website. Oh, Brian. Let's see.
Dude, where did you get that?
The Brian's Man Cave, or is that his?
Yeah, Brian's Man Cave was playing it.
Yeah.
This is the same guy that did the port of Super Mario Brothers, which is Top Secret Hush Hush. That came out in the last con, PGRE, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, where'd you download that?
Well, no, I think he got the. I think he has the
demo.
No, I think he bought the cart.
Oh, okay.
Chuck collects them.
Yeah,
like,
gotcha.
But if there's a ROM available somewhere, I need that link, like immediately.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm putting it directly on my Intellivision flashback, and I'm
impressed.
Having a great. No, dude, that looks awesome.
It does. It's almost like a remaster.
There's an RPG working on an Intellivision. That is epic.
No, this is, you know what? This is very nostalgic. It's like kind of like a remaster, right? Like the graphics are up, but they kept the same.
Yeah,
dude,
that's so cool, man. Wow. Here, let me see. I'm gonna see if I can get into. Does he get into a battle?
Yeah, fast forward. Yeah.
There we go. Let's go here.
Yep, they got all the sounds right. I mean, that's like important. You know what? I do like the graphics are a little bit easier on the eyes because like the mountains and stuff. Hey,
yeah,
hills.
That is awesome. I'm like legit excited about that. That is, well done. Taking a game down a generation and doing it that well it's good times. That is good times right there.
Yeah.
Wow. How much time and effort, right? Of some of these homebrew programmers. Like, that's crazy. Even the torch.
Yeah.
That's wild.
See, here's like my only complaint with like homebrew like that, and it's not just in television, the Jaguar and other stuff. Like, I get that they put it on physical carts, but I wish like why could like for $5 like I wish you could just like buy the ROM or like put it on Steam or you know what I mean, like some like
yeah.
Like
Trump said he and his friend were so happy playing this. That's awesome. I'm totally checking out that video track.
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
This is very nostalgic.
But like I said though, like if you find, however, if there's like a ROM or whatever available, I've got to check it out, man. That is awesome. Yeah, Phantom. That's just, that's incredible. And then I think it's just them going through the thing, and then they find their way out, and then get in a fight with a scorpion, and that's the end of the video. Are they about to leave? Yeah, they're about to leave. There you go. There's the scorpion.
On a 2-year-old Reddit post. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Really been like have they been working on it that long?
He ran away. He's like, the scorpion's a little too much for me. That's awesome. And that was it.
Dude, yeah, he's been working on this for a while.
So
I found another video that was like 2 years old. This is a project I started a couple months back. It still needs a lot of work, proof of concept. Okay. Matthew Cahill, probably totally mispronouncing his name. But yeah, that's pretty neat.
It's very cool.
See, you know what? So here's the thing. Like, I love retro stuff that's unnecessary, but because it exists.
Yes.
Like I geek out over that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know, like this is like yeah, you could totally play like Dragon Warrior on like the NES. Like, there was no reason to like ever port it, but because somebody did and they did such a good job. You know what I mean? Like, I love stuff like this. Like, same with other like, you know, like sometimes like other mods and things like in the retro space. Like, I love that like, when people pull this stuff off. Like, I geek out. Like, I totally geek out like over. Oh, you know what? I know another big thing in the retro world that we need to talk about real quick.
Yeah.
Did you hear about like the 13-year-old who like finally like beat and like completed like Tetris?
Yes. That was awesome.
So what's great about that? Because I know, like, I saw like the memes and the headlines, and there's this one guy's I can't remember his name, but like he's dedicated to Tetris documentaries, and like I was geeking out over this like so much because basically they explained that like they thought that like level like for the longest time level 28 was the highest. That like blue Scooty chat. I love this. Yeah. So like they thought that like level 28 was like the highest that any human could get to, because it was like at that point where by moving the buttons like you normally would on a controller, like it was impossible to move the blocks at all.
Yeah.
And then they talk about somebody figured, they call a roll method, which is kind of funny because like they wear like one glove, like I kind of think of like the Michael Jackson, but I think it's like you roll, like you do it a certain way, and then because of that they were able to get past level 28. And then Tetris, like, and this is for the NES version, it was never designed to get past that, like the programmers. And they were saying that like after that, it's instead of like going from the code, it starts to pull the code from the system memory.
Yeah.
And so there were like certain levels that would totally change the colors. Like there's and I'll get to how they kind of found this out. Like there's one level that was completely black that was like difficult to see. And they not only that, but one of our other like fellow nerds went through and analyzed like there's certain conditions that would cause the game to crash.
Yeah. Yep.
And so it was not only getting a high score, but and then you see the video where he made it crash. Like he had just to get one. So it was kind of a thing. Could you make it crash?
Yep.
And what I love so much about like speedrunning and all this is that people it's one of the few communities where people actually like share. Like someone comes out with a new tactic or trick, they share it, and the community kind of works together. But here's what was so freaking cool, kind of spoiler that they showed at the end, that somebody went in and did a toss or TOS. And I think everyone knows, but people don't know what it is. It's when somebody will they'll go in and like frame by frame manipulate it, so you can kind of see like the computer playing what would be the most possible. And so then the question was, now that this is broken, here's what I totally geek out over. The question was, what if you tried to keep playing and you didn't make it crash? Like if you kind of played they could have said like it's a symbiotic relationship, like playing with the computer, like you don't want to make it crash, like both the player and the Tetris live on. And by somebody doing like an assisted toss, what they figured out was that the highest level in Tetris would be 250. And you got to check this out. And what's so cool is they showed what it looked like, and it looked like all red. Yeah. It kind of looked like the depths of hell. And then they said, then what happens after 250? It loops back to 0. And it was just like, dude, it was like, I geek out over that so much. I can tell you, great. Yeah, no, like what I think is so cool about that kid is that if I grew up, if I was his age growing up in this time, like that would have been me. So like I can like that. I think that is like so great, man. Like that is like I freaking love that. Great Recovery was obvious to love. Yeah, and I think maybe he might be somebody that could get to like level 250. But it's just like so insane. I think the highest I've ever gotten to is maybe like 15 or 16. So it's like
yeah.
But yeah, I totally geeked over that. Like. And that's of any like video game stuff, like I geek. I love like different like speed running tactics and different things. And I think sometimes like speed running, I guess or speed running score chasing gets like a bad rap because people think, well, why would you want to beat the game like in 2 seconds? It's like it's not about that. It's like it's finding bugs and exploits, and it's performing like frame perfect moves. So it's like very difficult. And when you watch somebody do it, it looks easy because they've done like 1,000 runs. And then like something like Tetris, there's a lot of RNG involved. Like you just get bad pieces. And that's what people don't realize, that, a lot of these, they're just like, Classy YouTube channel. Yeah. I think that might be the one, because that guy is like, he's just dedicated just to Tetris.
Yeah.
And, so that like, dude, I just, I love that and love Tetris. And it's just, that just, I'm like, we have to bring it up. Of course, I'm sure there's some boomers out there. They're like, 13-year-old. There's like some angry people. It's like, really? I think it's great that a young young kid.
If he's going after it and he's getting it, then I'm all for it, man.
Yeah.
There's no. Yeah, I don't have to worry about that.
Because
yeah, exactly. That reporter from Sky News, yeah, she can definitely kick rocks. Because they like, how is it like you see a kid that has put that much effort into something, right?
Yes.
And then they get blasted, by this lady, and they tell her like, oh, like, why don't you go and touch grass or something? I'm like, dude,
but here's what's so great too about kind of like his age and speed running and everything is, because I imagine myself as like a 13-year-old younger kid back then, like speed, like we never thought of like doing that, like just to try to like push ourselves or try, that was like really unheard of. It was about completing games, seeing the next one, and all that. So I kind of think about a 13-year-old self who has like no responsibilities, no, nothing but time on your hands. I remember back then when we had a lot of time, So and the fact if you could pour all that energy and just focus on one game and you have the skills like this kid does, imagine what you could do.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's and that's the other thing. Yeah, and that's what's great too. We forget he's a younger kid. I mean, he's a Zoomer or whatever. Which a lot of those kids are kind of like are interested in all. So yeah, DJC, it's incredible that he was like into that, and it's just so freaking. It's just so freaking neat. Like I hope, like maybe as he gets older, maybe we can say, yeah, I remember that kid, and now he's like completing 250. That would be great. Like trying to avoid those conditions and making it not crash, and that's why all the levels have names. That's why the person who did the who did the tool assisted speed run, like they were able to see all the level, and they gave them like names, and so I think that's excellent. Ooh, Final Fantasy Tactics looking sharp.
Yeah, man, looking real sharp. I want to see if it does anything with like load times or whatever.
Heck yeah, DJC definitely. Oh, so the one thing I wonder, and I guess you won't know until you update to the firmware. I wonder if you can turn on like anti-aliasing and stuff, like you can in other emulators, and because you could like make PlayStation look like really crisp.
Yeah,
I wonder if you can
display cancel. Settings, video.
I wonder if you can, because like I remember when way back when I was like playing it like on like Fire Stick, and I was playing some games, and like out of the box they looked a little bit more like, especially on modern displays, it looked a little bit more blocky, but you could like tweak like the anti-aliasing, and it was just like amazing.
Yeah, I think maybe there is some more stuff you could do, but
yeah, kids these days play. So okay, so here's what's interesting about that. I'm losing my voice. Right, so you know what, and that's what, like, I hate the stereotypes and everything against video games, because here's the thing with that, and I'm sure maybe you all did this too. Like, as obsessed and as much as I love video games as a kid and adult, I played outside a lot with my friends. Like we, riding bikes, playing tag, doing it didn't take like the great thing is during the day when it's nice, be outside, play with your friends, get all tired, and then more later in the afternoon, then you could go in and chill and play video games in the air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I hate all those like stupid things and stereotypes against video games, like violence and to make you antisocial. No, I was still very, very active. Yeah, you know what? Me too. And the one, and I like what's the guy's channel? Speaking of which, called a Shmup Addict. What the heck is his name? I need to find, because he did. Hold that thought. I mean, because he actually did like a great Shmup Junkie, and he made a video called Gaming in the 80s and 90s. And it's actually kind of a cool like little 20-minute documentary. He yes, thank you. He talked about that, and what was so great is, like, so one of the great, and I'm glad you mentioned the arcades, because one thing that's like that was so great to experience, like, is when you'd go to your local arcades, grocers, arcade machines were everywhere, and there was just something great. Like, you go to the mall arcade, and I'm like, oh my god, there's a Mortal Kombat 2. When did that come out? You know what I mean? And so like that's how you found out about like newer games, is you actually went and you got to experience it and see it. There was no like pre-release or teaser trailers. I mean, maybe you might if it was popular enough, maybe, like, I don't know if Final Fantasy had a trailer or not, maybe in magazines, but you actually went there. And same with when you went to like electronic boutiques or Toys R Us, like you saw the games, and there's just something neat about like you just went there, and it actually like gave you a reason to go, like, to go shopping or want to go to the store just to see what the latest games are, even if you didn't like have the money for it. It's like, okay, what's there? What can I say that for? Yeah, his latest is awesome. Yeah, that video was just great, but it was also like, I liked how he was realistic, because sometimes people, I think, they get trapped in like, they kind of get trapped in the past, and he was like, no, it's like, it's good to remember the past. You want to be focused on the future. And then he talks about like, not everything was pleasant. Video games were a way of escape, and it's very good. Like, it covered, like, it was very realistic. Like, that video was just like very nostalgic, and the clips and the way that he did it was it was very well. And so I like channels like that where like they'll, they don't come out with videos every week, but when they do, it's when I do watch a YouTube video, I'm gonna watch Shmup Junkie.
Yeah, that's cool though.
Yeah. But yeah, man, someone someone maybe I just reach out to him. Someone like that, I would love to be able to like talk to him and be like, hey, how did you come up with the concepts? How long does that video take to make? And
right.
All that stuff. But yeah, you know what? We do forget that, every time I'm in Detroit picking up pizza, yeah, you do forget that, like, you go to a gas station or grocery store, and that's what he says, like, if there was, like, a crevice or if, like, there would be at least, like, one arcade machine. Like, that was, like, such a common thing just to fill that space because it was a moneymaker for the store. Go to a Walmart or someplace. Yeah, there'd be one or two arcade machines. And it's like, yeah, they were everywhere. And it's just weird now how we don't really have that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that would be that would get a lot of views. That would be great.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I love when other bigger channels give shout outs to Evercade and that type of stuff. And the algorithm also helps me out. Not gonna lie. Lag tests. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I would be curious because I haven't really noticed. At least with wired, I mean, I've only tested wired controllers. I haven't really noticed.
Yeah.
Anything with that. So yeah, that was just so nostalgic and everything. It's just it's kind of like I guess it'd be the equivalent, like vending. It'd be like the equivalent of like having vending machines everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it was for us. So it's just like. Yeah, when he did that, I was like, yeah, I forgot that they were just everywhere. Like that kind of baffled me, things like that, payphones, and yeah, that's I'm glad that I grew up when I did and got to see, because that kind of is a concern that, like, I know, like with my daughter's generation, she'll be turning 16. Like they don't really use computer. I mean, they use Chromebooks and all that, but I think a lot of that knowledge might get lost since they grew up with phones and they don't really use computers as much. And it'll be like, so what I think will be kind of funny is like when everyone remembers like Y2K and all that, and they needed like COBOL programmers, and like my dad he knew how to program. Like the funny thing is, like, those type of jobs, of like maybe when I'm like in my 60s or when I'm older, like they'll look at me being in IT, like that'll be like a niche job, and like hopefully me and Rich will still be needed for
right.
So we do need to I'll say, unless it's past as long as it's not past Rich's bedtime, I'd like to spend a few.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's cool. But before
I tease him because it's only like 9:30 Central here.
Yeah. Before we do that though,
yeah,
he came back and he asked what the problem was with updating the Polymega. Pete, if you're still here, the things that were known or at least reported was stuff about Neo Geo CD emulation being slow, which isn't really a problem for me because I don't have any Neo Geo CD games. But the fan translation patch things no longer working, and the audio missing from certain games, that was a little concerning for me. But also the other fact was it was reported that after you updated, you don't have access to those built-in games anymore, and that's a big. I don't want that. So if you updated and you still have the built-in games, let me know, and then I might be encouraged to possibly update, but I'm not sure. So
yeah. I would just. That's why I think we were talking offline. I'm like, I'd reach out to their support and see if you could kind of update it like you would like the OG Evercade, and they can give you like an earlier firmware, so you can still get some of those cool features. And no, so I do like. Okay, so yeah, actually, I do want to talk about this because like Grown, Grown Gen X, he went down there and he kind of posted these short, kind of some of these short videos. And so like, yeah, so two things I thought were really neat were like the Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man like minis, like with the sticks, and they actually had like a vertical screen. Like those looked cool. Pole position could be interesting. But like the portable My Arcade, it had like a spinner and a trackball and like a 5-inch screen. So that stuff looks neat. But yeah, I think it is great that My Arcade is doing, is doing something in that space, and we're getting more options. One thing that I thought was the neatest thing about the mini My Arcade is supposedly like the buttons will light up that you need. The buttons will light, like the buttons light up, but like they'll light up for the, like depending on the game. Like if it's an Atari game, probably one button will light up, or if it uses a spinner, then that'll also light up. So maybe when Evercade comes out with its next console in a couple of years, they'll do that. I don't know, but yeah, that was. I think those devices are always promising. It's kind of neat. It just kind of depends if it holds the hype, and you're like, kind of goes back to, do you need that type of stuff? I mean, especially like if they come out with like, if you can use trackballs and spinners on the Poly Mega and then have like a 2600 module, or you have the 2600 plus. So,
Yeah, well, I think that might be a thing. If they the Atari module was something they were thinking about for Poly Mega, and they already said that they would have compatibility for certain controller types. So I was like, that's exciting for me. If they can make that work, that'd be really cool.
Now, when we're talking Poly, are they still going to do the option? Are they still going to have the store where if you wanted just to buy the digital only?
Yeah, that's the thing that they're supposed to be coming up with next. But I guess they're working on all these other things.
Yeah, because I was going to say that's like a blessing and a curse, because maybe there's some other game you're like, oh man, I could just get it digitally, but you're like, you know what, I really want. But then if you get it digitally and you get the physical media, then it's kind of, I don't know. That's that's kind of a good problem to have.
I was playing some NES Maker or Turbo games now or something. Yeah, it is funny that we lost access to those other built-ins, but I think that's that's probably why they pulled some of the free games. Yeah, so they can go back and buy them in the store. Yeah, that makes sense. My Arcade always feels like a cash grab. I mean, it's one of those things where like I don't necessarily need another way to play Atari games.
No.
In a built-in kind of thing. However, the thing is, like, a lot of people like those things because they want to put them in somewhere else. Like, oh, I could have this in the living room, or oh, I could have, put this in my office or something, or like whatever. And they're like, okay, I can get that. That's pretty cool. But I definitely feel the same way. It's like it's for other people, but not for me.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Or it's one of those. It's one of those things that maybe if you see it like at 80 or 90%, like one of those like clearance items, and you're like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Then you might. That's why I like to be aware of it, because stuff like that is a lot more common to go on like clearance and on sales, because they're probably going to make too many of them if it doesn't move. And so, if it's pretty cheap, then I'm like, then it's worth picking up then. So that's what kind of gets me excited, or what I like to know about those devices.
Exactly. Now this thing though.
Ooh.
The Atari 400 Mini, that is something that I'm interested in.
Do you have the trailer for that loaded?
I do.
Actually, I haven't seen that. I've only seen like the thumbnails.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Wait, that actually takes cards?
Well, the original one did take carts. That little slot was something that you would put carts in, but this one doesn't do the carts, but you put games on a USB stick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's why in the trailer it's like, it's funny that it's like, where is
I was
it?
like confused. I was like, it looks like a USB key. Okay.
Put in, load your own games.
Oh, okay. I missed.
Then,
okay.
And then it says, game files must be legally obtained.
Yeah.
But it is compatible with the Atari XL and XE, so it'll play those games too, which is like an infinite library. So that seems pretty cool. Now that thing, because I don't have a way of playing these games, I don't have a way of playing these computer games. That might be a thing, because we might not get these on Evercade because of these kind of deals. And if we're not going to get these on Evercade, then I don't have to worry about a blue collection that I might be buying doubles in.
Yeah.
So that one I might be getting.
I think it's great for people for being nostalgic, but like for me though, I think is it only comes with 25 games and you can load your own ROMs.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm thinking, hey, I would just rather load those ROMs and play them on my Steam Deck. But I actually forgot about that, and that it kind of is like I was gonna say the one that like with because EmuDeck exists like in any handheld devices that EmuDeck they do make it a lot easier to be able to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that does kind of excite me a little bit because like the 2600 like all those games look beautiful on it, and with being able to have retro achievements makes it. I forgot about that. It would be kind of cool to see those different versions of those games.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried emulating that. I know like Atari 50 has some 5200. I really haven't tried. I do know the 5200. Like there's few good games I think, but I'm not really too familiar with that library. I'll have to look into that. But
Jeff Gary, it's just savage.
Kill them all. Leave any survivors. Oh, okay. So you know what we will do on Karg or even on your channel.
Mm-hmm.
If we well, I know you're going to do a series, but when you do like with me along, like I need to do the voice acting, or we need to do voice acting of certain characters because that would make it a lot of fun. Yeah. Got the keypad could use until that would be neat if they for sure if they did that. But man, there's just like there's so much stuff to play. So now that's like I was kind of talking to Rich like a little bit like I was thinking. So for video game, like I'm kind of like at a weird like place to talk about. So like during the break and everything, I completed and really enjoyed and played all the Evercade, like all the new Evercade cards. Most of them, Duke 2 I couldn't, but anyway, all of them except Good Boy Galaxy. And then I've been playing a little bit of Steam Deck Vampire Survivors, but like I really enjoyed that. But and sometimes this happens, and where I'll flip back and watch more shows, and kind of like I kind of play casually, but I'm like I don't know what I want to play. I'm like I should finish Good Boy Galaxy, but I have enjoyed playing like other emulation. The one thing I don't know if it's just nostalgia, but like the one thing I really do like about like Atari is that there's just so many jump in and jump out games. Like I could, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, hey, I'm gonna jump into Berserk, and maybe while I'm there. Oh, so for the total fun of it, and again, I don't have like every single ROM loaded of every single game. Like Atari 2600, I think I only have like 50 games. Like the 7800, I have all the games because there's like that's it. But like I've loaded best of packs, or when I think of a game like Worm Wars 1 for the 2600 that I don't think many people care about because it's so bizarre. But like I loaded that up and I played that the other day, and it was very very nostalgic with the sound effects, and it's so like games like I love I love playing those, of course, like the Activision games, and all that. But that's kind of what I've been doing with emulation is just not playing every single game under the sun, trying to be selective. I wish Atari would make an Intellivision homebrew kart system, modern homebrew to play. Yeah,
man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, or what? Like there's like, and I guess I have to give Pete credit because he brought it. Like, can we just get more like Intellivision? Like, can we get like Intellivision homebrew for like Evercade? Because that would.
It's just rights acquisition at this point. So as long as somebody has the money to create hardware or do whatever.
But here's the thing, because I would like, again, I'm no expert in licensing, but I think something like Indie Heroes, right, is like the easiest licensing for Evercade or Blaze to get, because they can talk directly to the devs and like, hey, we're making this compilation. It'll give you lots of visibility. Yeah, you're not going to get paid like $10 per that you would on Steam, but we'll sell more copies of that. I mean, I'm making up how they would pitch it. So yes, exactly. Intellivision Hero, exactly. So
that'd be awesome.
All they would have to do is just go to some devs and say, hey, we're going to release 10 games. Total. We're going to 10, or 5 devs and Yeah, exactly. Television Heroes, like, because that would be freaking great. Oh, you know what? And maybe I'll bring this up Saturday. And actually, I got to post a placeholder for Evercast, which I'll probably do tomorrow. But we're giving predictions. I forgot the number one thing that I wanted to predict that I think is realistic. Very, very realistic, actually.
What's that?
And I have no insider information. The John Hancock collection. Hancock collection, because he has like some 2,600 games, and then he has like that kind of one puzzle game where it's like him. I can't remember what it's, but he has like versions of it for like Genesis, Super Nintendo, and then he has like those other 2,600. Like I could see getting a collect because he definitely wants to do it, and I know that just because like he's responded a few times and says like that he would totally do it. That would excite him to do that.
Yeah.
Or even like Indie Heroes 4, throw on one or two of his games. I mean, we got Riggs, we got a few of John Riggs's games. So we got Beavis, and then we got that other game on Indie Heroes 3 that I can't remember, that other puzzle game.
Yeah, it's the one that's like Choo Choo Rocket.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Was it Trap Dungeon or something like that? Yeah.
But yeah, definitely like in television games, things are like more difficult, or like Atari ST, but we may not get that. Like Jaguar, because there's quite a bit of like Jaguar homebrew.
Right.
I don't think Jaguar emulation is too intensive. I think it's just more of, it's not like there aren't as many emulators, and maybe just getting the rights to be able to use it. I don't know, but
yeah, stuff
like that. But yeah, I want to see more things that are just like that are difficult to play otherwise, because like in television is one of them, because you have to have like a modified in television or a custom one that like you have, or HDMI. It's not it's difficult, right? And then you have to have those controllers, and the OG controllers are difficult to use. You know what I mean? Like it's a difficult system to be able to play in modern times, like ColecoVision, like any of that.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. Doesn't that look great?
It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm enjoying this experience. So I'm gonna create a save state. Oops. There you go. Create new.
You know what I wonder, and I know Polymega has dealt with a lot of like supply chain issues. But let's say Polymega gets back on track. You have to wonder, would they come out with a handheld?
You never know. And one that would dock with the Polymega.
Well, so you know what? So
you have like a dock module, and then you stick that in there.
So here's what's funny. I think because you wouldn't want a handheld, to put them on that would be impossible. I don't even think you'd want a handheld with a CD-ROM. Yeah, I was thinking that have a module where you could dock it with the Polymega.
Yeah,
and I think I guess no, they do have that. They do have that they have that standalone or have something where like a base that's just the seat. Like have like maybe they kind of a Polymega Lite, maybe something for $100. You get just like the base with the CD-ROM. I think they kind of had something like that, and then you could actually buy modules and plug that into it, and then you could sync it with your computer, something.
Yeah.
Some way, so you didn't want to have to. Do you have the? Well, dude, so out of the box, you can play TurboGrafx CD, you can play Sega CD, you can play Neo Geo CD, you can play PS1, you can play Saturn. Yeah, so he automatically has all that. It's just the question of he just needs to get like a game.
Yeah, so some of these come with the console.
Yes.
Ooh, this game looks cool.
Is it translated?
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
But oh, here we go. Double Dungeons. Here, this is the translated version.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but yeah. Dude, oh my god, Skies of Arcadia. Yeah. And actually, a while back, when I traded one of my physical Dreamcast copy of Skies of Arcadia, because I had no other way to play it. But if I want to go back, I can play the GameCube version on my Wii if I really want to. Thanks, Lloyd Jerem.
Yep. See you, man.
But yeah, see, that's the other thing too. There's so many ways to play. I was playing. What's that game? That's not for Dreamcast. It's for a Thomas Wave. It's like you ride on a dolphin. It's like a. I'm horrible at remembering like exact. It's like metal. It's like Metal Slug. I was playing that like perfectly, like on my Steam Deck and something like that. I get like like from a full charge like 5 hours. Yeah, I'm pretty. See some certain things like that. I'm pretty impressed. Like I can play the other games that Evercade will never do.
Shockman apparently is great.
Yeah. See, there's so many. See this. So you know what? And something I can't wait to talk about on Saturday because I did a poll and I asked people like what their main system was. You know, because I think it's. I know it's not the case now, but I think for a while like people thought like maybe we were like anti like unlicensed emulation. No, like we're not like. Definitely not anti-emulation. Like there's so many different ways, and sometimes it's the only way. You know, the only way to play. It's like it's one of those things where if you can't, because the thing, and I think it was great. Like Mad Little Pixel did a video on like, and kind of the firm belief that like you like say you buy like some of these games, like you're getting it just to have like the physical copy. Like you're not doing it to support the original devs. Like I'm talking about like something like an OG game like Punch Out or like, you know, you're doing it because they don't get any money from it. You know,
right?
But something like Homebrew, so that's you know, so like older, like a lot of us wouldn't have a way to play.
Yeah,
but yeah, dude, like that game looks awesome. But the thing, but the thing that's great though at the Polymega is that it does encourage you to kind of build up that physical. The physical collection. What I like is not only do you have something on display, it rips it, but it makes it so you don't have the Netflix effect as much. Like it's cool, even some of these built-in games. I think is neat. I mean, for $400, it's great they give you.
Yeah, right.
They give you something, but yeah, I think everybody does like a little bit of OG hardware, a little bit of like legal versus not legal. I mean, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny because there are times where like I think like let's talk about something like Food Fight. Like for me right now, my preferred way to play that, I guess, is on Evercade. But if I'm on my Steam Deck and I'm already in Atari 50 playing games and I want to play, actually that's a bad example. No, actually that's the arcade version. That's a bad example. Something like Aqua Adventure. Let's say if I'm already in there, then I just have another way to play it. So it is cool to have like multiple options. PS5, yeah. So what's funny, like my PS4, I play that for retro games, and like part of like the one of these days I need to do a video and talk about like the Namco 1 and 2 digital collections and what we got robbed of on the Evercade, because you get there's some pretty cool like a Galaga Plus or GA Plus or Galaga 4, like the NES version of that, like that's like crazy. There's arcade, but like stuff like that I like to play, and I have that on the PS4 too. So if I want to play it like in the living room, but yeah, I think for a PS4, like you mainly buy or I should say a console. You're mainly buying retro games digitally because that's the only way you can play it unless you jailbreak it. Mm. And the shame of it is, unless it's Atari 50, it's just a ROM dump. So sometimes so it kind of feels bad if you're just paying for a collection that's a ROM dump digitally. And so that's why I think, and to talk to that, what's really dumb is like the Contra collection, like that's normally $20. Right. I both bought that for the PS4 and for like $5, and then I re-got it again for my Steam, play on my Steam Deck for like I think like $3 or $4. But what's so dumb is this is a paid-for emulator, but you can't have the 4:3 aspect ratio fill the full screen, which is so irritating. But like playing it like on Ebu Deck, you can. So that's what drives me nuts. So like to Evercade's credit, and like here like with the Polymega, I do like solutions like this where they let you play games like how you should be able to play them digitally, like with normal options.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just like, and so like some devs, so they do a lazy port, but I'm like, come on, Konami, they haven't updated it to do that type of stuff. It's like, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, Shockman, yeah, dude, I forgot about this. Yeah, it's a lot like Mega Man, but I wouldn't call it a Mega Man clone because it's its own thing. I think sometimes the word clone gets like overused.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so cool. Like, yeah, you got sucked into it, and you just happen to have that there.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I think
there's a little Contra in here too.
Yeah.
Nope.
And that's why I think for me, like, really the only, and I think I talked about this, the only downside or to Polymega is that it, and I know that it was going to be it took way too long for it to come out, and it kind of like the analog pocket, it's difficult to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's, I think the only shame of this, I think if this, I prefer the word inspired. Yeah, exactly. I think the only shame of something like if this device had come out like 2 years earlier, like around when the Evercade came out, I think if it came out for that price, and I think it came out that time, and I think for the, and I think that price it makes it. I think if it came out for around the three, if they could have done it in around like the 300 or 250 price range, maybe we'd be all having Polymegas and not Evercades. But I think it would be a different. I just think like for some like to expect people like let's say who aren't into retro. To like they're not gonna pay like the $400. They'd rather have like a PS5 or Xbox. So I mean I get that, and then having to get the physical media might seem weird. But yeah, I really hope for this device that it becomes more accessible, and it becomes a lot more popular.
Right.
Because I think the one good thing the Polymega has going for it is whenever you have like devices that aren't FPGA. Or open devices, especially like this, the 2600 Plus is a great example. Is that the main downside, other than people wanting FPGA, is the compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the one thing that Polymega nailed. Like a demo disc, whatever. And I think the demo disc you tried was probably because it was scratched. But I think the one thing though is that I think the compatibility is maybe like 95%, like it's there, which is been difficult for companies to be able to do to have emulation, to be able to use physical media. And I think because actually no, you can either rip it or you can play it straight from the device. So I was going to say maybe because it's ripping it, I don't know. But.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know what kind of wizardry or whatever is in here. All I know is this thing is working pretty good. And those load times, man. Yeah, Tactics is one of those ones that's pretty notorious for really long load times.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it at all, which is great. So that's very good stuff. I mean, not that I would expect it to be slow, because of course, you're running on an SSD. So, but very cool stuff.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying you need get yourself like the Famicom or Super Famicom module.
Yeah.
And then because you could get games from Japan a lot cheaper, or subscribe to Mad Panic Kid Shirta. You can get it one of his tiers, because you can those unless if it's nothing like crazy, like those games are still cheap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like $5 to $10. I want to say that if you look in the right places in Japan, Super Nintendo and Nintendo is kind of like buying Atari here.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So.
But yeah, I get goosebumps every time when I see you there with the Polymega, and people who watch your channel clearly I know it has the highest views of stuff
I mean people are definitely digging it. So
I'm glad, man, because you waited a long time for that device, and I'm glad that there's still interest.
Yeah. Tomorrow, speaking of, tomorrow I'm gonna dip into one, and I don't know if it'll work or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. But this will grace the Polymega.
Ooh.
Tomorrow I'm going to do another install fun for 5 kind of thing, but I'm actually going to try to see if I can patch it, because I heard the patches are built in. So, and for this particular game is already there. So
that's what I'm
patch it right away.
That's what I'm wanting to know, if they have certain games that are built in that you install it and it'll say would you like to patch it?
Yeah.
And then it does its magic wizardry and it patches it, and you're like,
yeah. I might have to connect it to the internet, but I'm not sure. But hopefully, it'll be good times.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Game, yeah.
That is the dilemma. I guess if you do connect it to the internet, then turn off auto updates.
Right. Exactly. So,
or if it says do you want to update? Say no. Be very careful. You don't accidentally hit a button, because it'll want you to do it.
Right. So. You need to stream play that.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, man. You're absolutely right, Mr. Shua. That is it. It's going to be so dangerous, because I know I started it I started Canon. I need to finish it, but if the patch works exactly the way that is,
You don't need to finish it.
I think Lunar is going to be the next completion quest, and I'll play it again all with you guys. I already completed that game once already, but the Saturn version I didn't, so that's gonna be new for me too. So yeah,
that's right.
It'll definitely happen. It'll definitely happen. Yeah, like, and then of course I have access now to a whole bunch of PSX games. Those are gonna wind up being completion quests, so that's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, it's gonna be rad, man. I am so things. I'm so happy about like doing all this stuff.
Yeah,
more Polygon based content from Rich is upon us. Yes.
Yeah, and then what?
Yes.
In the mix, I'm gonna say Neo Geo CD I think is pretty cheap too.
Yep. And it'll work. I think it does every single CD based system.
I know what would be your first game. You can play Bust a Move on the Super Pocket, but don't forget Bust a Move is also on the Neo Geo, and I don't want to say the CD version of it should be relatively cheap.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be hunting stuff down. Don't definitely be on the lookout, because like it's just so cool that I'm like, oh yeah, I can pick up this game and then just put it in.
Put it this way,
read it once, I'll never lose it. So
like I think everybody gives you like permission that like if you said, you know what, I'm just really enjoying like the Polymega and I'm going to play all these games and maybe not do as much Evercade or as much VCX content, we all give you approval to do that, because that's the whole like, you can do that, and you can still trickle in all that other stuff.
Oh yeah, well the good news is, as long as I catch up to VCS, like I can still do and break in with like, oh, a brand new game came out on VCS and then do that. So yeah.
I miss those.
I thank Fanta for that. I miss them too, because that's part of the whole thing. Is like, well, we gotta hang out. That's like, and hang out. And
I want to say I joined you for quite a few of those too.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
And half the people that are in this chat right now were here for the end.
Yeah,
it's like, I'll never forget that. That's why. Yeah. That's why the end is. That's why I end my videos the way I do. Yeah. So if we all finish Lunar together, then I'll have to change the thank you for the GTC.
That's what I was going to say.
We'll have to do a lunar GTC thank you. That's actually absolutely.
I was going to say, according to the Good Times rules, I believe any RPG you beat, you have to update.
That's 100%. That is a rule. That is absolutely a rule. Oh, dude, I want to go to PAX so bad, but I don't know if I'm going to make it this year. PAX Unplugged though, in December. If you go to PAX Unplugged, it's in the Philadelphia area. I will likely be there this year. So yes, Evercash crew needs to meet up. Yes, 100%.
All I can say is that like within our lifetime, definitely.
Yes, definitely. That is going to happen. And if we grace a con, and we know that we're all going to be there, I will 100% like use some of the only cachet that I have, because I do know people that know other people that run some of these conventions. I will pull strings and see if we can get a panel, and that will happen.
Yeah.
So
that could be. Yeah. Yes. No. Well, yeah. Well, see, the thing is with Golden Axe War, there really wasn't as much text except when you go to town. But that's what I was saying. Like, I would definitely. Yeah, I definitely want to do something.
The big one in DC is MagFest, which is another one that's on my list.
Yeah.
I would go to MagFest before I went to a PAX. I don't know why, but I would. Yeah. Well, I know why, because I love video game music. Love video game music. Love it. I've been wanting to do like mini episodes about video game music for a long time too. I probably should. I probably should just do it. I should probably just do them.
Yeah.
I should do a lot of things, but I absolutely love it.
No, what's funny, and I think we've talked about this, I say sometimes like the music in a video game is like more nostalgic than playing the game itself.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with
you. Which is kind of weird, because I think like I like start to remember the sound effects, and I can kind of remember like I love chiptunes. So on my Spotify playlist, I have like a lot.
Oh, the 8-bit big band. Oh, that sounds great. Like I'd be all about it. Wow, MagFest tickets are $250. Wow.
Yikes.
Man, they're. I mean, it's such a great show. Like I've heard like so many people went to, like in my area. I meet them all the time. They're like, oh yeah, I went to MagFest. It was the greatest thing ever. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But like I just never have the time. And it's always usually around this time. They do it around the holidays. And it's like, man, I can't take time out and go to that and all that kind of stuff. But
so
man,
I will say, again, because like a lot of it, so it's so as far as like us meeting up, not only is it like money, but it's also like, time to credit vacations. But one thing I thought of that we could do if there was enough interest, we could even like do like a GoFundMe or something something like that.
yeah.
Like I'm serious. Like it's like,
Well,
hey, this is for all this.
Would be cool though. Like, I mean, we could wind up, I don't know, like I'm just spitballing here, but like what if we were able to get a trip sponsored or something,
Yes.
That'd be kind of, I would do it.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah, that's why I say within our lifetime, hope, within our life, we definitely will. That's definitely something that we like, but it's like, it's also that, time off and other, also spending time with our family. But, I know at some point our wives like, no, like, hey, we got to meet,
Yeah. Evercade the US tour. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, get it sponsored. So like, what you'll need to do is like spread the word. And I mean, like, because I know what Pete's at least 8,000 subs. I don't know. He's maybe he's at 10,000. Like he's
getting close, man.
Yeah.
I think he's over 9 again, which is awesome.
So we need to spread the word.
Still here, Pete. Great, good job, man.
Heck yeah.
I mean, I knew he was going to get there. Yeah. I absolutely knew he was going to get there. Yeah.
And then I know Crow's been above 12, but like what we need to do is like spread the word, get me and Rich's channels to be like up to that much, so we could get the attention of a sponsor, and then
that would probably do it. Yeah, like 40,000-50,000 combined, for the four of us. That would probably move the needle for somebody.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Like, so that's get us up there, or then that's kind of like at the point too. Like I don't know, or figure something out.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
But no, definitely that's something that we would all do and do like live.
I agree.
Live Evercast.
I agree. Pete is very likable, and yes, I mean it's just. Yeah, like I love the energy that he brings to everything. It's really cool. And I'm always thankful for him because like it's, again, if it wasn't for him and Chris, this would not be happening at all.
No, not at all.
And it's just that's every day. Every day I'm like, man, I'm glad all this happening because it's been so much fun. It
is. It's kind of a when I talk about like when I was at a time where I didn't know what other emulation thing, and I was investigating Evercade, and that's when like I came across like Pete's channel. Pete's channel, which I think it was that led me to yours and Crow's channel, and then watching you guys on Evercast, and then at some point I just got up and I may have to find that email, but basically, and I talk about this. I was just like, hey, I really like y'all's show, really into retro. I think we should. I just said, hey, I should just collaborate and do. I think maybe I wanted to be on Evercast, but I didn't want to. I didn't know if, I said, hey, we should do something. And he's like, yeah, why don't you just be on the show next week? It was kind of funny. And then and then he was like, hey, I think we need to have him back. So it was just kind of weird. No, but no, definitely. Like, I know people give Pete a hard time, but he really is the founder of this Evercade community. 100%.
Oh yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. He was definitely the one that drummed up a lot of stuff, especially on YouTube. He was definitely the first one that I knew that was really kind of pushing that hard, and he was right on top of it. It was like, oh, we should do a podcast. So let's go. And I was like, yeah, man, let's do it.
Yeah. I want to say because there was like what I was finding on YouTube was a lot of negativity.
Yeah.
About Evercade, and I was like, there has to at least be somebody who's neutral. I mean, come on, it can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Chris is a solid dude.
Yeah.
And that's that was the other part of the reason why. Because like for someone like him to be like, oh yeah, you should just get on the microphone and do it. It kind of pushed me. Like that was, like it was, Pete was like, like, oh yeah, let's go, because he was like super excited, and I was all about that energy, but I was like, man, I don't know. Like, what if people are just like, like they're not about this face or doing anything, and then I had a conversation with Chris, and Chris literally was like, because he has a very himself way about things. And he was just like, I was like, who cares? because what everyone says, just put face on the camera, just hit the record button, and if you don't do it, I'm going to come down from here from Massachusetts, and I'm going to come get you. I'm like, all right, man, I'm doing it.
Yeah, we need to get him back on. You know, sometimes it's kind of funny.
Yeah, he's got to be. Yeah, we got to get him.
I think about that when I put out a video. I'm like, nobody's going to watch this, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, okay, good. You know what I mean? I kind of, sometimes I still kind of feel like, you know, kind of still feel like that, and you know.
Yeah, I want to get him. I want to get him back in March, here on Karg, for when he relaunches his campaign, because I really want to make sure that we like collaborate and do stuff, and make sure that we're like pointing people towards towards his campaign this year. Because
I know
I feel bad that it like didn't really go that far last year.
Yeah.
I really want to make sure that we do that for him.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like, because I want to say he releases a video maybe like once a month. I know it's not as I imagine maybe he probably has like a lot going on in his life, so I would be curious. Like I know he doesn't have as much videos.
Yeah.
So I would be curious to talk to him, to ask him about like, hey, what's going on, and
yeah,
he'd be good.
Yeah. So I know that there's the RGR guys, Brian. They do their podcast, and then there's the guys from the Fans Hub, and they have their own show. It used to be hosted by was it James or Liam? I forget which one of them. It's much more guys used to host the one for the Fans Hub. But then somebody else took it over. All those guys are great, and we've been talking to them for a really long time to try to get a collab going. That'd be awesome to do like a super Evercast or something.
Heck yeah!
Actually, fun fact, I think all of them on there. That'd be great.
I think I want to say the last time when I checked where it says like, for viewers, I think it was like 60-40, like 40% in the US and like 60, and actually a lot of it was like the UK. So it's like, go figures. But
a lot of Blaze and Evercade's like fan groups are all based in the UK.
Yes,
which is great, because that's awesome for me, because that's how we get all these crazy things that I've never heard of.
Yes,
right. Because
that's what I love.
There, and I was
like, I love the diversities. Like Ian Hobbies is in Spain.
Yep,
like,
exactly.
Which,
exactly.
And like Jason Shears, I think he's in the UK and a few others. So I love that. Like I love like how we have different people from different parts of the world, different cultures, different perspectives. It's it's neat. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about versus.
Like
team up like the Avengers.
Yeah.
The JSA. That'd be kind of fun. But
coordinating the time difference and all that, and
100%.
I think so. What I think it might be better, because I know like on paper that sounds great, but if you do have like if you do have a StreamYard of 10 people, it could get kind of chaotic,
I mean, at least doing it. I would take a swing at it once for sure.
Yeah.
Just to see how it happens. I've been in some of those big shows though.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day when Pete would rock a show, he'd be like, who wants to come on? And he'd like have like eight people in, and it'd be a little wild. It'd be like Hollywood.
Nothing.
Stairs, but it'd be fun. But it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. If nothing else, we could always.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, too, here on Karg, we could always have like one or two people, at a time as a guest.
Yeah.
Kind of do it that way, and kind of see what the interest and how it is, and maybe a good way to break the ice and all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I need to reach back out to Ryan over on the RGR side, because I know that he was the one person I was talking to a lot, so we'll have to reach out. Once Blaze launches online multiplayer, it's definitely going to go down. There's no way. That would be awesome. I would do it. I would do that immediately. If there was a way to play online multiplayer and you can get like, I don't know how many players you can get, but if you could somehow like tie an 8-player match 4-on-4 in like a Sensible Soccer or something like that, how cool would that be? That'd be rad. I would do it.
You know what? And this might be a great topic for Evercast too. But you know what? I think to try to build that online play community, I think what Blaze needs to do is they need to, I don't know, take a game that would be good to speed run, but let's say that would be like really expensive or difficult to play in other hardware, and have like speed running features built in. Like there's competition mode, but have it where like a time, like have those things and then approach like a very popular Twitch streamer, and then get
like get them into like splits and stuff.
Yes, yeah,
Oh, man.
and kind of get that out there.
Awesome that would be.
For me,
well,
I know people want online multiplayer, but that's what I would like to see. Like I would kind of like to see something make certain games be able to be like speed run, or even if they had the interface where you could do that with any Evercade game. And
if they did the speed run thing, that'd be awesome. If they could get like Arcus.
Yeah. And
and like that, with cowboy hat and play games. That'd be great.
Yeah, and then what's like Speedrun Archive? Then there could be a separate category, like any percent for a game played on Evercade hardware.
Yeah,
that would be.
Yeah, that'd be rad.
Yes, yeah.
That I don't know. I haven't heard any of the rumors, both privately and publicly, that they've been working on anything yet. So I'm imagining they're going to wind up coming back to it. But
when did they do the last issue?
I think it was issue 5, right? Issue 5 was the last one.
How long ago was that?
It was a couple months now.
Yeah.
So
I know it takes a lot of work to be put.
Oh no, dude! I mean, the effort that they put in is just phenomenal. And it's such a cool zine. I just don't know if like other people are having like some life things where it's easy for them or whatever, but.
Well, that's what I mean. It's a hobby of love, and it's not like they're making. I think if they're lucky, they're not doing it for the money, right? Like if anything, at the end of the day, maybe they're trying to break even. Like maybe they make $1 per magazine.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yes.
Yeah, man. 2 carts, 3 genre game, finished to the fastest. Yeah, man. That'd be awesome.
I know, like, listen, we offer a lot of like criticism. Maybe sometime we're a little bit harsh, but it's because we love Evercade, and I wish.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a really cool idea, Ian.
I wish they would have listened to it sometimes, but yeah.
I mean, you could almost just do it. Like, you technically could almost just do it. Like
you could.
That's a new way of doing like the Evercast challenge, right? That's a new way of doing those challenges.
Yeah, see,
and like, hey, 2 minutes. How far can you get in like Doodle World or whatever? Yeah, we all started relatively at the same time. Yeah, with like half frame or whatever.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have multiplayer, like to kind of lead into. Lead into that, and they could and so like they could have things like this month's challenge and have it like and that's kind of what I would want to see, like things like the Capcom collection. They sort of do that, like they sometimes will have like weird random, but I'd like to see that the issue, like as much as I love Evercade, but right now I feel like they're struggling with quality controls and patches. But then again, like something the Duke Nukem carts, which will be my next video, they pulled that off flawlessly. I think. If anything, Blaze's issue is where do they put their focus? I think if they could just pick one thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, and I know, like, it's funny. I hear Pete's voice in the back of my head saying, like, that's great, but that doesn't make money for them like new hardware. But maybe, but it would though in the long run, because that would be a reason for people to buy consoles if you give them something.
Right. Yeah, if there was another feature or something like that just actually kind of like put it over the top for somebody who's on the fence. Yeah. Yeah,
and those Katie's challenges, they could do stuff like that built in with that specific specific game, and even make it so you don't even have to own the cart if they had to.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but they could do challenges, like for some of the things that they select games for Game of the Month, right? Yeah. So like Game of the Month could be tied to a challenge.
Yes.
Like that kind of thing, right? Because it's already there. It's already part of the firmware. Everyone gets it. So
yeah, make it and find like the metal Jesus of Twitch streaming or something. I don't, what I mean? Somebody.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. So, but even still, though, even with the score challenge or something like that, then yeah, all you need is somebody, somebody that does a lot of gameplay for score changes and all that kind of stuff. So Blaze could pick a couple of YouTubers.
I wish, dude. Or
yeah, right.
Or they could go the complete super lazy way and do like QR codes. That'd more be for scores, but
yeah, I mean, either way, it would be cool. All of those things would be cool.
You know what? I think actually for the Duke 1 and 2, I think in the options, I think there is a speedrun mode. I think there's maybe like a timer, but it's not. It's not.
That's neat. It's very cool. Oh man.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, I like that idea, Mr. Shu. We'll have to.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what the what the future holds. But yeah, all fantastic. So I want to I want to say that like in the chat, like you guys are all like I love what. So take a step back. When I send out the tweets and I put like in the community tab and I say come be part of the show, like I mean that, and I'm
absolutely,
I'm glad that you all did that, because I mean, yeah, me and Rich can just BS back and forth and talk about things, but I love when everybody has been like, I mean, not that you guys aren't like uninteractive, but you guys have been exceptionally interactive, and I appreciate it. That's a long-winded way of saying
super good.
Yeah. I love that, like for maybe the first 10 or 20 minutes when me and Rich have a few topics and then you guys like lead it and it spirals into what it has, and it's awesome. Like I enjoy that. It's really really great.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun. We wouldn't have been going for 2 hours if it wasn't for that kind of thing. You know what? I'm with you, Phantom.
You know what? Like
I'm with you.
Yeah, see, it's funny because I know you're getting, but like I will say when I do this and like I get fired up. It's weird because I'm somebody where I can be at the brink of falling asleep, but if I catch like my second wind, then I'm like, oh, then I'm like all fired up. So
yeah.
That's like the side effect of doing the show is after this I'll be like I'll have to calm down.
Yeah, right. So,
but I love it though. I wouldn't have it any other way.
But absolutely, man. But so we've hit the 2 hour mark. So, yeah. We're gonna get out of here. Thanks, guys, so much for being here. This has been like a really awesome chat. This is love the interaction, love talking. We get to do a lot of cool things. We're gonna keep doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, like you bring some things, and like we could like have you play some things or whatever, and then we'll like mess around with Polymega or whatever while we chat.
Yeah, man.
And then we'll just keep going. We'll just keep doing random things, because I think that's pretty fun. So, you got anything before we go?
We'll have I wish it was tomorrow. We'll have Evercast. We'll have Evercast Saturday.
Yeah, of course.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll definitely do that. And I think my video next week. I think finally I'm going to be able to do my fall video to the Dukes. And,
nice. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I missed the Evercade video today, but there will be an Evercade video probably on Saturday, because tomorrow is another Polymega video, like I said, because we're gonna get that copy of Lunar on there, and we'll do that. We'll do that tomorrow though, and then more. It's like we've got all the stuff, so I now have absolutely no excuse but to just keep making more content. So more of that will appear over on the channel. So come hang out with me too. And then that's pretty much it. So, all right, guys, thanks again so much for hanging out. And until next time, we'll see you right here on Calling All Retro Gamers. See you later.
Calling all Retro Gamers.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.